Hello there, people of planet Earth. Bobby here, and I'm walking around at some woodsy-ish patch of Austin, Texas, in South Austin. But anyways, it's kind of irrelevant to the reason why I'm making this video, and the reason I'm making this video is to announce to the humans of planet Earth who use the internet and happen to watch this video on the internet. Just want to let you guys know about my intentions to become homeless by choice and walk essentially across America. I will be walking from Mexico to Canada. It's a total of about 2,600 miles or so, and it should be good. But there's a lot of reasons why I'm doing this, and it's kind of hard to pinpoint any specific reason. I'm certainly not alone in my quest for Canada, but I will say I'm about to embark on a journey that I really can't even begin to comprehend just yet, aside from the fact that I've had a similar adventure, but I hear the adventures are kind of not really comparable. But I walked from Georgia to Maine on the Appalachian Trail, but yeah, this time I'll be using the Pacific Crest Trail to walk from Mexico to Canada, and it should be good. It's going to be intense. My current thoughts about the journey are I don't know, I'm just almost trying to distract myself from it a little bit, just because it's just always on the front of my mind, and I kind of want to just be present in these last 50 or so days that I have, with my friends here in Austin. But that's besides the point. I need to be focused on this journey, and it's coming up very soon, and I know it's going to be challenging. It'll probably be the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, but I know it will be rewarding, and I have a good feeling I'm going to love it, and my addiction to hiking and backpacking will just grow stronger. It's a bit of a curse sometimes, I feel like. As I was saying, it's hard to keep it off the front of my mind, but some of my close friends would know that hiking the Pacific Crest Trail has kind of been on the front of my mind since I finished the Appalachian Trail in 2015, in the fall of 2015. But it's another journey, and it's going to be an epic one. There's a lot of reasons why I decided to do this, as I mentioned, and one of which being it's just the current state of affairs of the human race on planet Earth. We're just really a silly bunch doing a lot of strange things, and I think there is hope for mankind. However, I don't think me, buckling down at the age of 23 and keeping my comfy corporate job and having my benefits and having my mortgage and buying a car and having children and a white picket fence and all that good stuff, I don't think that's really going to benefit me or the planet at this point in time. And not saying that, going on some long walk is going to save everyone, because it's certainly not, and that's where I'll get to the fact that I'm not doing it really to save anyone except for myself. Might sound a little dramatic, but let's just be real. This is a fucked up planet we live on. Maybe not planet, but just fucked up humans, and we're all fucked up. But I know it might sound a bit cynical and negative, and I apologize for that, but I'm just being real. That's how I feel, and that's why I'm going and walking 2,600 plus miles from Mexico to Canada, going through the desert and gnarly mountains and shit. And when I don't have to, I could easily just keep working my job and buying nice things and just being comfortable almost all the time, but I'm trading that for discomfort and struggle. But it's really worth it, and it's a it's a simpler life. It's a harder life out there on the trail and on these long hikes, but it's much more simple. Life is much more complicated when you're in society and, you know, paying bills and just doing all that shit. And you know, it might be because I'm just a bit naive and young, you know, some people could say, and you know, I'm just immature, I guess, and not ready to settle down. But in reality, I don't really see much wrong with a human dedicating their life to just adventuring on this planet that we're fortunate enough to be on for, you know, 75, 100 years max, and, you know, less for most. So why not make the time on Earth just fun? Just have fun, chase your dreams, and just do the funnest shit. So my idea of fun right now is, you know, putting on a backpack and walking alone through the woods and the wilderness. And really, on adventures like this, you're not alone at all. There's communities out there, and I'm really looking forward to the community out on the Pacific Crest Trail and becoming a part of that. However, I will say that solitude is very important to me on my hikes, and I definitely do it to get away. And you're never around people if you don't want to be for too long, and you're certainly not alone if you don't want to be either out there. So yeah, it's coming real soon. I couldn't tell you the exact number. I'm kind of doing a half-ass countdown, but I think I'm probably around 54 days, 53 days until April 1st, which is when I put in for my permit to start at the Mexican border in Campo, California. It's a tiny little town close to San Diego. Really doesn't have shit in it except a border fence and a post office. And so I'm really looking forward to that. And currently some like stressors on my mind, I'd say, for you know, getting prepared for the journey. There were hardly even stressors, but it's just getting all of my shit, all my ducks in a row at home, you know. I think I'm going a little more all in, I feel like, for this hike than I did for my last one. I think I'm investing more into it, just mentally and just lifestyle wise. I think I'm gonna just really uproot my life a lot more out of this. That might be wishful thinking, but in reality, I think I'm gonna before my last hike, I sold most of everything I owned, and now I own almost nothing, and I really feel like I'm gonna get down to the bare essentials and almost only own what I'm taking on this hike. And it's just stripping myself down to all that I am, really, except I have a few high-tech gadgets and pieces of gear that help me wander a little easier, but I have nothing tying me down anywhere, or I won't. And when I say I need to get rid of things, I literally can fit everything I own inside of my hatchback car, which will also probably no longer be my car within the next month or so. So it's an adventure, and it's daunting and it's scary, and some could even say it's a bit arbitrary of an endeavor. It's a bit meaningless, and it's hard to argue with that if you look at it in like a realist perspective of what we're doing here on Earth. You know, everyone has their own opinion, but my opinion is obviously much different because I'm going out and doing these journeys. But I know some people would look at someone, you know, not working for 6 months at a time and just living in the woods as just a crazy fool. But I think what I take out of these journeys is much more valuable than any more zeros in my bank account or anything like that. You know, I'm going for broke on this one, and I'm really sending it. I don't know what's going to happen after the adventure, but I know things aren't going to be the same. They weren't the same after the Appalachian Trail, but I feel like I'm digging a little deeper for this one. And yeah, and to just keep going with, you know, things that are kind of I guess stressors. One thing I can't help but to think about is the fact that California has gotten like more snow than it's gotten in like the last 22 years. I'm pretty sure they're about to be out of their drought, which is good in the sense that water might not be too scarce in the desert, but you know, my luck, it will still be scarce. But the point being, I'm going to be at high elevation pretty frequently on this hike, and they're getting a lot of snow. So that's just going to add more challenges into the hike, which is okay. I mean, I honestly look forward to it. What's up, man? Yeah, so that's awkward, walking past people in the woods while you're talking to your cell phone. Makes you feel like a fucking idiot. I don't know how I'll be able to do this on the PCT, but we'll see. I'm kind of sending it, because I know there's some people that want to hear more about my journey, and I feel like this is kind of a good way to log it, because sometimes I'm just bad at sitting down and writing things down at the end of the day, and I feel like maybe I'd be better off just talking to either a voice recorder or my phone or something and getting it all down, and if it's interesting enough, or I feel that it's interesting enough, I'll put it out there for the world to see. And that's kind of what's happening right now. Just kind of putting all my thoughts out there. I don't know where I was before I walked up on some guy and his dog and got all socially awkward and turned my phone off, but it's coming quick. And I was mentioning the snow. The High Sierras are getting a lot of snow right now, and which is common. You know, they're the mountains, it's winter, you know, mountains get snow, and that's okay. So I really don't need to stress about it too much. It's gonna melt and stuff, but with my start date being April 1st, it means I'm gonna have to probably push pretty slow for the first 700 miles or so until I get into the you know, the higher mountains, the High Sierra. Around 700 miles in at Kennedy Meadows, I might have to wait it out, you know, for the snow to melt a little bit if it's too bad to get across some of those passes. But something I read recently, I don't even know who said it, so I can't give them credit, but they said something, I'm going to paraphrase, that like when a mountain pass is impassable, like when things are impassable, that's just a mind state. That just because there's a lot of snow on some of these high passes doesn't necessarily mean that it's impassable. It's really a mind state. It's like, yeah, it's just scary. You know, your risk of death is a lot higher or something like that when you're going on these crazy mountain passes that are icy and snowy. So there's going to be more risk there. But impassable, just a mind state at this point for me. So I'm not going to let it worry me too much. I'm just going to go. I'm going to prepare the best I can. I'm going to carry the gear that I feel necessary. I'll use, you know, micro spikes and an ice axe. For those of you who don't know, micro spikes, they go on your shoes. They're like sharp things and chains on your shoes to stop you from slipping on the ice. And an ice axe is for when you're basically on the side of a mountain and there's snow, and if you end up slipping down the mountain, you can jam the axe with all your body weight on it essentially into the snow, and it stops you from sliding to your untimely death in the middle of nowhere. So it's gonna be fucking epic. I'm really looking forward to it. Honestly, the gnarliness of what the winter is turning out to be makes me more excited for it, because just the challenge that will present, it's pretty awesome. It's like it's a badge of honor to know. I mean, not even that I've hiked the damn trail yet, but once I get through this beast, to be able to say that, yeah, I hiked the Pacific Crest Trail on a high snow year, one of the highest on record, if not the highest at this point. I think they're probably still getting snow there right now. But it's going to be epic. It's going to be a challenge, but I'm not going to let anything stop me or deter me from chasing my dream at this point. I'm going to be quitting my job pretty soon here. Got to get out to Arizona for a wedding. A family member is getting married, and pretty much after that I'm heading right for the trail. So gonna be out of job in about a little over a month. a month and a few days. I won't be employed anymore. I'll be living off of my savings that I've been saving up since I finished my through hike of the Appalachian Trail. Not going to talk finances really right now. Maybe after all this is over and it's all said and done, I can tell you what was up with the money. But yeah, funds are a definite challenge on adventures like this. They go quick, but I feel like after my last hike, the experience that I had out there, I'll be a little smarter with my money. I'll be better at budgeting and just not spending money on dumb shit, not hanging out in town for too long, because that'll eat your money up real fast, is just hanging out in towns. But I'm not trying to go too fast and not enjoy myself on this hike either. I want to have a good time. I want to do it right. But I'm not really going to worry about doing it right, because I feel like I've done a pretty damn good job in the past doing it right. But it's definitely some things I'd like to change. I want to be a better hiker. I mean, that's the thing. Just be a better hiker in all ways. Whether it's just your steady pace, practicing the leave no trace principles, just everything. Just be a better hiker. Be a better steward to the national forests. Just be a better person. And yeah, I'm just kind of leaving it all, risking it all. I don't know what's gonna happen after this long hike. But yeah, I'm gonna be homeless for 6 months, and you guys should follow along on my journey, because it's gonna be fucking epic. And it is starting on April 1st. It's gonna be here before we know it. Peace and love, bitches.